Hi everyone, it's me, Linda B, and welcome back. So today, guys, I am going to do a reaction to another Thomas Sowell video regarding white liberals and how they use black folks. Yes, that's what we're going to talk about today on my channel. Yes, I want you guys to really engage in this conversation, okay? Really tell me what you guys think. But before we get started, just a reminder to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel on my way to 20,000 subscribers by the end of April. Thank you so much for supporting me. And guys, also follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Real Linda Bentley. And you can email me at chatwithmelindab at gmail.com. Now let's get into it.
Years ago, when Jack Greenberg left the NAACP Legal Defense Fund to become a professor at Columbia University, he announced that he was going to make it a point to hire a black secretary at Columbia. This would, of course, make whomever he hired be seen as a token black, rather than as someone selected on the basis of competence. This reminded me of the first time I went to Milton Friedman's office when I was a graduate student at the University of Chicago back in 1960, and I noticed that he had a black secretary. This was 4 years before the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and there was no such thing as affirmative action. Milton Friedman had the same black secretary decades later when he moved to the Hoover Institution, and she was respected as one of the best secretaries around. When I mentioned to someone at the Hoover Institution that I was having a hard time finding a secretary who could handle a tough job in my absence, I was told that I needed someone like Milton Friedman's secretary, and that there were not many like her. At no time in all these years did I hear Milton Friedman mention, either publicly or privately, that he had a black secretary. William F. Buckley's wife once mentioned in passing, at dinner in her home, that she had been involved for years in working with a school in Harlem, but I never heard her or Bill Buckley ever say that publicly. Nor do conservatives who were in the civil rights marches in the South, back when that was dangerous, make that a big deal. For people on the left, however, blacks are trophies or mascots and must therefore be put on display. No one.
Do y'all feel that way? Do you feel like with the left, the Democratic Party, or just, the left in general, that black people are used as tokens that were put on display? You know, I've noticed it, but before when I was, voting, I was voting Democrat, right? I thought it was a good thing. I thought, they're giving us a chance to show our talents. I wasn't well versed in politics, of course. And I just thought it was a good thing. I was like, what's wrong with it? I don't see any representation on the Republican side. So it was a good thing. But as I got a little older, got more mature, started looking at things, God started dealing with me on some things, and I could see that we were propped up to get the other black people in line to vote a certain way. And it was really not ultimately for our good at all. It really wasn't. And and I look around at the current administration, the Biden administration, that is the thing that I see on the left. They just prop up black people, just prop us up to get us in line to do what they would have us to do, to get the other black people in line. We've seen this in the civil rights movement. If you watch my other videos, you will see that, you know, the whole thing with the Democratic Party, and you see my Vince Everett Ellison videos. I'll link it at the end of this one. They would choose black people that were out and about because the Democratic Party had to figure out a way to get black people to vote Democrat. So they used a particular civil rights leader to do that, to get the black vote, and it worked. However, if you look at the black community following civil rights, we're talking about the early 70s, the black family went downhill. Broken homes. There were no, but well, no, I shouldn't say broken home. People weren't getting married. There was welfare. There started to be drug use. There was crime. Black people were on our way. We were on our way to doing excellent, excellent. But I call it the devil got in the way. But anyway, that's how I just feel like the Democratic Party just uses us as a pawn.
Where is that more true than in politics? The problem with being a mascot is that you are a symbol of someone else's significance or virtue. The actual well-being of a mascot is not the point. Liberals all across the country have not hesitated to destroy black neighborhoods in the name of urban renewal, often replacing working-class neighborhoods with upscale homes and pricey businesses, neither of which the former residents can afford. In academia, lower admission standards for black students are about having them as a visible presence, even if mismatching them with a particular college or university produces high dropout rates. The black students who don't make it are replaced by others, and when many of them don't make it either, there are still more others. The point is to have black faces on campus as mascots, symbolizing what great people there are running the college or university. Many, if not most, of the black students who do not make it at big-name, high-pressure institutions are perfectly qualified to succeed at the normal range of colleges and universities. Most white students would also punch out if admitted to schools for which they don't have the same qualifications as the other students. But nobody needs white mascots. Various empirical studies have indicated that blacks succeed best at institutions where there is little or no difference between their qualifications and the qualifications of the other students around them. This is not rocket science, but it is amazing how much effort and cleverness have gone into denying the obvious. A study by Professor Richard Sander of the UCLA Law School suggests that there may be fewer black lawyers as a result of affirmative action admissions to law schools that are a mismatch for the individuals admitted.
And I just want to say, and I'm going to say this, I don't want anybody to misunderstand what Thomas Sowell is saying. He's saying that anybody, black or white, but the focus is on black people because they use us as a mascot. There's no, like he said, there's no need for a white mascot. And, he uses the word mascot, but the more common term is token. And I'm sure you guys have heard of it. And anytime you mismatch anybody, black, white, Asian, Latino, whatever your ethnicity is, and just put them there to have their face there, then and not look at anything else, just their face, what they look like, you're gonna mess them up because they're not a good fit for that particular institution. There's a bunch more that they are a great fit for. You know, these certain schools they're very high pressure. They put the pressure, they're pressure cookers. And anybody that you mismatch, no matter what their ethnicity is not going to thrive. And it can discourage that student and cause them to drop out and not go back to college. It ends up hurting them more than helping. And it doesn't help at all. And there are a lot of black kids that can knock it out of the park by going to Harvard or Yale or the highest institutions there are. They can knock it out of the park. But the issue with how the left does it is that they mismatch black people in an effort to just have faces, black faces, to make themselves look good and feel good about themselves without taking into consideration anything else regarding those students. And like I said, anybody else that's mismatched, white or black, Asian, Latino, whatever, they're going to have the same results, the same bad result. But it seems like black people, we're looked at as the go-to token, you know.
Leaping to the defense of black criminals is another common practice among liberals who need black mascots. Most of the crimes committed by black criminals are committed against other blacks. But again, the actual well-being of mascots is not the point. Politicians who use blacks as mascots do not hesitate to throw blacks to the wolves for the benefit of the teachers' unions, the green zealots whose restrictions make housing unaffordable, or people who keep low-priced stores like Walmart out of their cities. Using human beings as mascots is not idealism. It is self-aggrandizement that is ugly in both its concept and its consequences.
Yes, I totally agree with that. It's self-aggrandizement. You know, it's not meant to help anybody. And all these things that I see, that I understand better now, with how the left uses people, particularly Black people, as pawns. They really use us. I mean, we've been used so horribly, and a lot of us still don't understand that that's what they're doing, and some of us will still vote Democrat. I won't do it again. I made a mistake, and I've already asked for forgiveness from God, because I'm not for abortion. I'm pro-life. I am for, traditional marriage, parent having autonomy over their children, parents, parental rights, and a lot of things that I'm for that the current administration or the Democrats just don't seem to be for. And I'm for traditional values, traditional families. And I don't hate anybody, but I'm not going to sit and be quiet while everybody else is shouting to the rooftops what they believe. I don't feel like it's healthy to promote certain lifestyles on our youth, because those lifestyles have a very high suicide rate, and it leaves people confused. And if they would just let the children naturally grow out of it, because their kids can be confused when they're going through their stages of development. Their frontal lobes haven't completely formed yet. So they just need to let people grow up and make their decisions after that, if that's what they want to do to their bodies, even though I still don't agree with it. But at least let them grow up into adulthood before we try to push this off on children, because you can mold a child's mind to be whatever you want it to be. They're more susceptible to things like this. Anyway, you guys give me your comments, what you think. Do you feel like the Democratic Party, uses Black people as pawns? I mean, tokens. I say pawn, token. He says mascot. I'm really referring to the same thing of lifting us up only to cause more destruction amongst our own people. And it is not there. It's not in a way to help us at all. It's in a way to make themselves look a certain way and feel a certain way about themselves. And we've already talked about, the universities, the schools, that it does not help the students to misplace them. Okay, most of the Black students that graduate from public schools, and a lot of public schools are not the best, and they still do very well in 75 or 80% of the schools that are out there. But when you just throw them into one of these other kind of colleges and mismatch them, and if you did the same thing to a white student or an Asian student, but they're not going to do well either. But it seems like the schools don't need a white token or an Asian token. They need a Black token, you know, and I call it a token. He calls it a mascot. But anyway, and all of that is to say, is not good for any group of people to be just thrown somewhere, not looking at all of their attributes to determine what is the best school for them. And anyway, that is the end of my rant. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. On my way to 20,000 subscribers by the end of the month. Well, not this month. I'm sorry, end of April. You guys, please email me at chatwithmelindab@gmail.com. You guys have a blessed day and march on, warriors.